Create. Let me tell you something that might sting a little, but it'll set you free. The way he treats you is a reflection of what you tolerate. Create. That's not just a quote. It's a wake-up call. You don't need another relationship book or a bunch of red flag checklists. Create. What you need is the courage to look in the mirror and say, I'm done accepting less. Because here's the true thing. Create. He'll treat you like when the moment you start acting like one. Not in attitude, but in boundaries, in energy, in how you carry yourself, and in what you allow. And no, shut down, create. This isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about rising into the version of you who knows what she's worth and stops settling for anything beneath it. You're not asking for too much. You've just been asking it from the wrong place, maybe even the wrong person. But that changes now, because when you shift how you see yourself, everything else follows. And trust me, he'll feel it. He'll see it. And if he's worth it, create. He'll rise to meet it. Let me make one thing very clear. You are not hard to love, but the moment you forget your worth, the world, and yes, even the man you love, will reflect that back to you. You teach people how to treat you by what you accept, what you allow, and what you walk away from. Create. So if he's not treating you like a queen, the question isn't, what's wrong with him? The question is, create. What have I been tolerating? Because love is not about begging for bare minimums. Love is about standards, and those standards start with you. You want to know the real reason some women are treated they're irreplaceable. It's not looks. It's not charm. It's not what they do for him. It's because they show up with self-respect that cannot be negotiated. They know that their presence is a privilege, not a prize to be won. Create. They don't chase, they don't plead, and they don't sit around hoping someone will wake up and finally see their value. Because they already see it in themselves. And when you walk like that, when you talk like that, people have no choice but to step up or step out. Create. Now let me tell you a secret. The shift doesn't come from trying to change him. It comes from changing you. Stop managing his potential. Create. Stop shrinking your standards just to keep the peace. Stop giving endless chances to someone who doesn't show growth. Create. You are not responsible for fixing or healing a man who doesn't even recognize the damage he's causing. You want to be treated like a queen. Create, then act like one. That means you lead with your values. You don't stay silent when you're hurt. You don't stay just because you've invested time. Isn't sound. Create, and you definitely don't lower your crown to make someone else feel taller. Confidence doesn't mean arrogance. Puppern. Create. It means you know what you bring to the table, and you're not afraid to eat alone if the company isn't right. It means being so in tune with your own peace that anything or anyone disturbing it feels like a red flag, not a romantic challenge. Because the truth is, create. You're not here to prove your worth to a man. You're here to live it. And the man who's meant for you, he won't need convincing. He'll recognize it. Create. And he'll rise to meet you there. And here's what happens when you shift your energy. Everything starts to change. You stop texting first just to keep the connection alive. You stop explaining why you deserve effort. Create. You stop second guessing yourself when your gut is screaming the truth. You start setting boundaries that feel like self-love, not walls. You start saying no to things that drain you, and yes to things that nourish you. You start showing up for you. Down. Create. And that's when the real magic happens. That's when he looks at you differently. That's when he realizes he's dealing with a woman who knows who she is. Create. And if he doesn't treat you right after that shift, good. Now you have clarity. Because the wrong man will always feel intimidated by a woman who honors herself. But the right one, he'll see that light in you, and he'll protect it. Create. He'll respect it. He'll match it. So don't be afraid to walk away from less. Be afraid of staying stuck in a place where you are not seen. You deserve to be loved out loud, chosen daily, and respected fully. Not someday, not eventually, but now. Create. And it all begins when you decide you are enough as you are. No more begging. No more settling. The day you start showing up like a queen is the day he either rises or you realize he was never a king. Create. There's something powerful that happens when a woman decides she's no longer available for half love. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's a quiet decision, deep in her soul, where she finally says, down. Create. I am done being treated like I'm optional. That's the shift that changes everything. Because when you raise your standards, not just in what you expect from others, but in how you carry yourself, people have no choice but to meet you there, create, or get behind. And let me tell you something, he'll treat you like a queen when you start living like one. It's not about demanding, manipulating, create, or playing games. It's about becoming so rooted in your own self-worth that you stop negotiating with people who don't see it. Create. A queen doesn't need to convince anyone of her value. She doesn't chase validation. She doesn't beg for energy, attention, or affection. She sets the tone. She holds the line. She moves with dignity. And that kind of presence, that kind of energy, it's magnetic. It commands respect. Create. And if he's worth anything, he'll feel it and adjust. Now listen closely. If you keep showing up for someone who doesn't appreciate your presence, create, they will never learn to value it. If you keep fixing, chasing, or excusing their behavior, create, you're not helping love grow. You're just teaching them that you'll stick around no matter how little they give. That's not love. That's emotional self-abandonment. And queens don't abandon themselves for crumbs. They sit at full tables or they dine alone. Create. You want to be treated like royalty. Start by refusing to engage with anything that makes you feel small. Stop responding to disrespect. Stop justifying why you deserve consistency. Stop over-explaining your boundaries like they need to be understood in order to be honored. They don't. Create. They just need to be clear and enforced. If you keep allowing access to people who drain you, don't be surprised when you feel empty. If you let someone cross a line once without consequence, they'll do it again and again, until you either forget who you are or finally remember. That moment you choose yourself, truly, fully, unapologetically, that's the moment everything starts to shift. Because when a woman who knows her worth walks away from what doesn't serve her, she doesn't lose. She levels up. She creates space for what's real. Create. For what's deep. For what's aligned. And that scares people who were benefiting from your confusion. But it attracts the ones who are ready to match your energy. He'll treat you like a queen not because you told him to, but because your presence demands it. Create. Because your peace is too expensive to be disturbed. Because your energy is too rare to be mishandled. Down. Create. Because you've made it clear that you would rather be alone in your power than partnered in your pain. Create. That is the level of confidence that makes a man step up. That is what separates women who are tolerated from women who are treasured. Create. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to raise your voice or argue your case. You just have to rise. Create. Rise into the version of you who doesn't flinch when she says no. Rise into the woman who walks away without looking back when respect is missing. Rise into your standard and stay there. To shut down. Create. Because the man who's meant to treat you like a queen won't be intimidated by your strength. He'll be inspired by it. Down. Create. He won't run from your standards. He'll honor them. And if he can't, that's your answer. So let today be the day you stop waiting for someone else to crown you. Place it on your own head. Own it. Walk in it. To shut down. And don't you dare let anyone make you forget what you're made of. Create. You don't have to beg a man to treat you right when you already treat yourself like a queen. That's where it starts. Create. You show him how to treat you not with your words, but with your energy, your behavior, your boundaries. If you walk like you know your worth, create, speak like you honor your voice, and act your time as valuable, he'll feel that. People feel your standards before you ever speak them. Create. The way you carry yourself teaches him what's acceptable and what's not. And if you keep settling for less, don't be surprised when that's all you get. This isn't about being mean, cold, or distant. It's about being aligned. It's about knowing that your peace, your presence, and your love are gifts, not obligations. You are not here to prove your value. You are here to express it, live it, and protect it. When you stop chasing his potential and start honoring your own power, the dynamic shifts. He either rises up to meet you, or he fades away. And if he fades away, let him. Because the right man doesn't need to be begged to treat you right. He just needs to see that you won't tolerate anything less. Let's be honest and create. Some of you are giving your heart to men who haven't even earned your attention. You're pouring into people who only take, create, giving second and third chances to someone who couldn't even handle your first. That ends now. You cannot keep investing in someone who doesn't see your value and expect to feel fulfilled. That's how you end up exhausted, confused, and empty. Create. The truth is, love isn't supposed to hurt like that. You've just been trying to plant roses in soil that can't even hold a seed. Create. He will treat you like a queen when you realize that being a queen is not a title. It's a standard. A way of living. A mindset. It means you don't settle for hot and cold love. You don't play the maybe game. Create. You don't let someone else's lack of clarity create chaos in your life. You are either chosen and cherished, or you're walking, not to make a statement, but to protect your soul. That's power. That's self-respect. And that's exactly what makes the right man show up differently. Create. Stop lowering your expectations to make it easier for someone to meet them. Stop shrinking yourself so someone else can feel bigger. That's not love, and that's sacrifice, and it's slowly bleeding you dry. You want to be adored. Start adoring yourself. You want to be prioritized. Start prioritizing your peace, because when you do, you won't just attract better treatment. You'll expect it. And the moment you expect better, create. You'll stop entertaining anything that feels like confusion, inconsistency, or crumbs. And here's the best part. When you make that shift, you stop being afraid of losing people. You stop fearing being alone. Create. Because you finally realize that being alone and in peace is better than being connected and in pieces. You're not here to carry a relationship on your back. Create. You're here to co-create love with someone who sees you, values you, and shows up for you. And until that person arrives, you stand tall in your truth. Create. You keep your crown on. You keep walking forward. He'll treat you like a queen when you stop asking to be treated like anything less. When you demand it with your presence, not your pleas. When you embody it in your habits, not just your hopes. Create. And the moment you become unavailable for anything beneath your standard, the world, and the men in it, will take notice. Not because you told them, create, but because you showed them. That's where real power lies. In your actions, in your energy, in your unwavering belief that you are worth more. And you will no longer settle for less. Create. There comes a point when you realize that being treated like a queen doesn't start with him. It starts with you. Create. It starts when you stop hoping he'll change and start changing the way you see yourself. Create. It begins when you finally understand that the version of you that accepts inconsistency, confusion, or disrespect is not the version of you that gets treated like royalty. The shift happens internally, quietly. Create. When you decide you've had enough of waiting to be chosen, and instead, you choose yourself. Because here's the truthing men respond to energy. If your energy is, please love me, please pick me, or, I'll take whatever you give, you're going to attract someone who gives the bare minimum. Create. But when your energy says, I know who I am, I'm not available for anything less than I deserve, and, my time is sacred, suddenly, everything shifts. He sees you differently, he steps up or he steps aside, and either outcome is a blessing. Create. The mistake many women make is believing they have to earn love, that they have to convince someone they're worthy. But love isn't something you win. It's something you embody. It starts with the way you speak to yourself. The way you say no without guilt. The way you walk away from what doesn't align. Shut down, even if it hurts. You don't build a throne by begging someone else to see your value. Create. You build it by seeing it yourself, and refusing to let anyone treat you like anything less. So many of us were conditioned to think that love is sacrifice. Create. That to be loved deeply, we must give endlessly. But love without boundaries isn't love. It's self-betrayal. Create. You don't need to overextend to be appreciated. You don't have to overcompensate to be worthy. The right man, the one who truly respects you, create, won't need you to abandon yourself just to make him feel comfortable. He'll want you in your full power. He'll meet you where you are. Create. But only if you show up as the real you, not the version that's trying to please everyone. And I get it. Create. It's scary to let go the idea that love has to be fought for. Create. It's terrifying to release the fantasy that someone will wake up and suddenly see your worth, is to shut down. Create. But what's more terrifying is living a life where you never feel seen, where you're constantly questioning your value. Create. Where your heart is always waiting for permission to be full. That's not a life for a queen. That's survival. Create. And you weren't made to just survive. You were made to shine. He'll treat you like a queen when you stop auditioning for a role that was always yours. When you speak with clarity. When you hold your head high, even when things don't go your way. When you stop chasing and start attracting. Not by force, create. But by standing fully in who you are. That's the kind of presence that commands respect. That's the kind of woman a man doesn't play with, create. Not because she's intimidating, but because she values herself so deeply, it would be foolish to try. And if he doesn't treat you that way, create, then he was never your king. Real love doesn't feel like confusion. Real respect doesn't come with conditions. Down, create. The moment you stop settling is the moment you start attracting what you truly deserve. You don't need to become someone else. Create. You just need to remember who were before the world told you to shrink. So take the crown off the shelf. Dust it off. Create. Put it back on your head where it belongs. Because when you start living like a queen, the right man will treat you like one. Not because you begged him to, but because your energy left him no other choice.